Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi, and I'm taking care of business. Joining me today is Leslie Echino, who is founding board member of the Alberta Hospitality Association and owner of Annabelle's Kitchen and Bar Annabelle in Calgary. Leslie, I wanted to talk to you about government restrictions here in Alberta, which were lifted the other day. The exemption program is now gone. Tell me what the thoughts are of the association and the industry of what the Alberta government has done and is doing right now.
Well, I think it's quite exciting and it gives us hope for our industry slowly getting back to normal. I know that in the last few weeks, we were advising government to lift the curfew initially. That was what we were hoping to be lifted first, was the curfew and the limiting on fun activities in your business, dancing and crowds, so that still is in effect. Table size maximum of 10 up until March 1st, and our 11 p.m. curfew is staying till March 1st. But it is a step in the right direction and slowly getting business back to normal.
So to get this right, you guys, if everything goes right in terms of the curve, so to speak, of COVID. So as of March 1st, all you guys will be back to quote unquote normal.
The new normal, yes. And hopefully everything gets lifted then, as well as the stay-at-home work order, because that, as a business downtown, and I'm sure a lot of us have walked around the downtown neighborhoods, it is very apocalyptic at times. So the stay-at-home work order is giving me, as a downtown business operator, some hope to getting people back.
When you look at what's left in terms of restrictions for the restaurant industry and the bar industry, what is the one that is the most, I guess, damaging in terms of revenue for you guys? Is it the curfew? Is it the capacity? What is it that hurts the most?
It's interesting. We've had 4, times throughout the last 2 years where we've had to lay off employees. It's been devastating every time things are changing. The goalposts have shifted. Yeah. You're at capacity. Now there's a curfew. Oh, you can go to eat, but you need your proof of vaccination. But now, all of a sudden, not having proof of vaccination, is that going to make people want to go back out again? I think we do need to install confidence, of our industry, that how safe we are and how people do need to, kind of support local, get back to normal. You're seeing it globally. You're seeing it in some of the most conservative countries and states, in the United States. Everybody are lifting these restrictions. And so I think it's about time that we're doing the same.
Let me ask you about the masks. Now, as I understand it, the mask mandate is still in place. And again, that's another March 1st date, correct? If and when the masks are gone, do you think that'll signal to everybody that, okay, we're back? Well, we're back in business.
It's challenging. People have been living in perpetual fear for 2 years. The media over 2 years has been like, be afraid, be afraid, be afraid. And, you see it every day in the news and social media. And so I think people are afraid because they've been, fed this constantly. And I'm sure most of us have got COVID now. I think I got it from a little 9-year-old, vaccinated 9-year-old in school, so thankfully we're all, seeing that the severity of this, variant is definitely a lot less. And I hope that gives people the confidence to go back. I suffer from, I'm immunocompromised. I suffer as well. I did my job and got vaccinated. I wear my mask. And so I understand where people are a bit nervous and apprehensive, but people need to get back to work. We need to get people being kind to each other, supporting again, small business. I think that's, I go see Costco is lined up beyond belief every time I drive by, and I cannot understand how people feel so safe in a packed Costco or the mall, yet people are nervous about going to restaurants.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about labor issues. There's no secret there that the industry and actually everyone has felt labor shortages in the last 2 years. How do you think what's happening right now, with the government restrictions and the easing of them will impact your ability to find people?
Again, having been laid off from your job 3 or 4 times in 2 years, I think has been absolutely devastating for the restaurant industry. We've suffered continuously, and I've had the same, so my downtown restaurant, I've had it for 14 years. I have the same chef for 14 years.
Yeah.
And I think, and thankfully I was able to pay him throughout this and a lot of my key staff, but you know, how long can you go through these uncertain times? And last summer it was the same. Hey guys, don't worry, it's over. We're lifting restrictions. And then a few months later, they're back in place.
Yeah.
So, you know, my chef of 14 years is tired of it. You know, young people going into the workforce, you know, have less motivation, I think, to go into our industry that's been so affected. You know, single moms, single dads, all of that jazz. We have a lot of that in my businesses. I have full benefits for all my employees, which is not super common in the restaurant world. I think that's helped me keep key staff. And so we haven't had quite the challenges that a lot have had, but pre-pandemic, my 2.5 restaurants, I call Bar Annabelle a half restaurant because it's so small. We had 55 full-time employees. Now we have, I think, 14 or 15.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can start bringing people back, but people are used to living on government handouts. They're used to being on EI. A lot of people live back in their parents' basements, I'm sure. So I think it's going to be tough getting people back.
Yeah, and when you look at the last 2 years, and you mentioned, you know, Alberta hasn't been as bad as, say, Ontario or Quebec in terms of the up and down in terms of lockdowns and measures, et cetera. But do you think, you know, God forbid that, you know, we have another wave of this thing, that we're done with any kind of lockdowns and restrictions? Do you think governments, you know, if something happens in the future, will be done with it and just move on?
I think, you know, I feel most people are a bit complacent now. And, you know, if they feel like there needs to be a lockdown, I'm sure everybody's going to support it again. I don't know. I've been cautiously optimistic this time for the first time in 2 years. Last summer, I didn't think it was here to stay. You know, I hope that we have learned that lockdowns do not help and targeted lockdowns do not work.
Yeah.
So I do hope, but if another lockdown happens, I have a couple beautiful restaurants in downtown Calgary for sale.
Okay, then. Well, thanks, Leslie, for your time today.
Thank you so much, Mario.
All right, that was Leslie Echino, who is founding board member of the Alberta Hospitality Association and owner of Annabelle's Kitchen and Bar Annabelle in Calgary. This has been Taking Care of Business. I'm Mario Toneguzzi. Thanks for joining us today.